Back, and the Federal Capital Development Authority says it is set to revive some of the green areas in compliance with the Abuja Master Plan. Meanwhile, in putting this together, most of the garden operators have violated the terms of these parks. And this is why event centers and pepper soup joints are seen in these parks. The Director, Department of Development Control, Mukhtar Galadima, in an exclusive interview with Clever TV's Aniete Patrick, says the FCDA is working towards intensive cleaning of these parks to make it standard, as they have commenced the processes leading to the closure and removal of all temporary recreational facilities.
These are some of the parks and gardens within the Federal Capital Territory that have encountered the wrath of the FCDA's Department of Development Control recently owing to infringements. The Director, Department of Development Control, says in line with the provisions of Abuja Master Plan and the park policy, they have created awareness among residents on the security challenges arising from the operations of some parks. He said this informed the need to enforce the relevant guidelines to restore sanity and decorum.
The River Plate Park, situated within the Central Area District, has an approval, but in the recent past, not the distant past, we have, as I said, we're sanitizing the parks. So we visited that place. We noticed some infractions which we correct. We corrected those infractions, and then we given them instruction on what to do. And that is not limited to River Plate Park. Even the Rock Park opposite the Wuse Market, yes, we carried out similar exercise. So we're not going to rest on our arse. It's an ongoing process, and this is something that will outlive me, because development control activity is usually associated with such a enforcement drive. This is a kind of collaborative effort. The plan is that when we remove these infractions, we'll go and clear the debris, and then the owner will be given option to redevelop the park in line with the theme that was allocated, and you'll be given a time frame. If you fail to comply with the terms and conditions of the allocation of that park, the government reserves the right to revoke or to withdraw your lease in respect of that particular park. So it's a kind of a process. Ours is just an aspect of the process. We move in, we assess, we remove what is removable, and then Parks and Recreation Department come in to give you the team and to make sure that you have developed the park in line with the theme given to you. Within that same period, if you fail to comply, then we recommend for revocation and withdrawal of the lease granted to you.
Galadima says where there is non-compliance with the master plan, there will be enforcement due to deviations, which include prosecution and revocations as well.
The most important thing is to sensitize them on why we are doing what we are doing. After creating awareness, we move on to enforce, because sometimes when you create awareness without action, then residents will not take us serious. But we try to explain to them that there are security challenges, there are aesthetic challenges, and there are functional challenges as regards to the utilization of these parks. Oftentimes we have received complaints from the residents of security risk coming out of these parks. We have received complaints of nuisance as a result of the operation of these parks. So now with this mandate, we have to enforce the relevant guidelines and then the park policies. So in order to bring sanity to the whole activities of the park operators, we have to step up our action and see that we have bring in sanity and a kind of decorum in the society. The next line of action is to repeat similar feat where there is non-compliance with the master plan, particularly when we have written that such uses be stopped and the designated uses be reverted to. So we'll continue with our enforcement drive. That's why you see in recent times, because we have realized that there is so much deviations and violations of the plans, rules, and regulations. So we have stepped up our action to ensure that we enforce our standards, rules, and regulations governing fiscal development in the Federal Capital Territory. Not only by bringing up structures, including prosecution, including revocations. So it's not just our activities is not limited to demolition of structures. No, it involves also prosecution as well as revocation. Yes, that's why you see that along the major arterial routes now, where people are not supposed to open up their access, but they did it wrongly. After advising them that they should revert, if you fail to, we enforced by removing such access and sealing them.
Efforts by Clearview TV to speak with the garden operators were unsuccessful for fear of victimization, as many of them are already negotiating for the reopening of their businesses. Annie Patrick, reporting for Clearview Television.